Let us learn about other system components. Now these other system components, they are used by embedded systems to protect the embedded system both in hardware as well as in software. If something wrong is going in the embedded system, then these other components like reset circuit, brownout protection circuit, oscillator unit, real-time clock and watchdog timers, they are used to protect the embedded system. It will also protect, and it will, these devices, it will make sure that the software which is present in the embedded system, it is executing in a perfect manner. Okay. Now let us talk about reset circuit. Now this reset circuit, these are used to ensure that the particular embedded device, it is working with normal operating voltages. Like if there is an embedded system which has to be operated at 10 volts, which means 10-volt signal should be given to the embedded system, but instead of 10 volts, if you are giving higher voltages like 11 volts or 12 volts, then there is higher chances that your embedded device, it gets damaged. So during those conditions, this reset circuit, it will protect the embedded system from such higher supply voltages. And so that is regarding hardware. Similarly, if you take software, if the software, if it is not running properly, if your embedded device, if it is responding very slowly, and it is giving outputs in a wrong manner, then during those conditions, this reset circuit, what it will do, it will reset the internal registers which are present in the embedded system and all other hardware components present on the printed circuit board of embedded system to its initial state, and from there it executes the firmware program from the reset location. Okay. Now these two are the reset circuits. These reset circuits, they come in two categories, where one, it gives the reset pulse in active high form, where the other gives the output pulse in active low form. So if you are using active high, then the embedded system, it will be resetted only when your reset pulse is high. Similarly, if it is active low, your embedded system will be reset only when your reset signal is low. Like that, we can use any one of these two devices, but most of the time we will be using active low reset circuits because these are quite immune to noise. Now this reset circuit, it consists of a VCC, a capacitor, a resistor and a freewheeling diode. Now from here you will be taking the output for active high. Now initially the capacitor, it will be not charged. When VCC power supply is given, what happens? The capacitor will charge and you will be getting high output. And this freewheeling diode, it gives the required current to capacitor to operate. Okay. Similarly here the capacitor is connected to ground, which means the output here, it will be low. So these are about reset circuits, and you can change the values of the pulse duration, whether it is active high or active low. That duration, it can be fixed by, it can be changed by changing the values of R and C. Now the duration of the pulse, it should be long enough for the clock to identify the reset. Okay. If the reset duration, if the reset pulse duration is low, then the clock, it cannot identify. Like we all know, the clock, it is used to synchronize all the working on the embedded system. It will synchronize the reading of the data, the writing of the data. Okay, all the control signals, everything, they are synchronized through a clock, and this clock, it can be active low or active high. Okay. Now this clock which I have drawn, it is active high clock, which means every operation in the embedded system, it is performed only during the positive edges of the clock, where the clock is making a transition from 0 to 1. Now here the reset pulse, it should have large duration. Okay, small duration reset signals, we should avoid such kind of signals. Like the reset signal, it should be large enough. Okay, like this. Now across this positive edge, the controller, it identifies the reset pulse, then the embedded systems will be reset. If the pulse is not large enough, what happens? If it is very small, like that, then what happens? Your clock, it cannot identify it, because though the reset pulse is given, but across the positive edge, the system or the controller, it is unable to identify it, because here it is 0. This is happening because the pulse duration is very low. So that is one more thing that you have to consider. And the duration, it can be changed by changing the values of R and C. Next, brownout protection circuit. Now this brownout protection circuit, again, it is used to protect the embedded system during abnormal power supply voltages. Like every embedded system, it will be having a threshold voltage, a minimum operating voltage to operate. Okay, like the minimum operating voltage for an embedded system, it can be 5 volts, which means no voltage less than 5 volts shouldn't be given to the embedded systems. Like you cannot give 4 volts or 3 volts, because the minimum voltage requirement here in this example, it is 5 volts. So during those conditions, the brownout protection circuit, it will cut off the power supply, protecting the embedded system. And this is the brownout protection circuit. Here is your power supply, and it consists of a transistor, resistor, and a GNR diode. Now this transistor, it will on only when your VCC is greater than VBE plus VZ, where VZ is the cut-in voltage of the GNR diode. Now if your power supply, if it is reduced, like from 5 volts to 4 volts, then what happens? This 4 volts, it will be less than VBE plus VZ, which means the transistor, it will off, and hence the device, it will be protected. Okay, now you can change the threshold voltage of the embedded systems by changing this diode. You can take different range of embedded different range of GNR diodes, which are having different GNR voltages. Okay, if you are taking higher GNR voltages diode, then it can operate at higher VCC power supply, like that. Next, oscillator. This oscillator, it is like heart of a person. Okay, like a heart, which for us, heart is very, very important. This heart, it regulates every function in our body. Similarly, oscillator is also very, very important. Okay, it is like heart of the embedded system, and it generates the required clock with which the device will operate. Now see, this is the diagram for oscillator. This oscillator, it is here, it is the oscillator, which is a quartz crystal resonator. So whenever a supply is given to this quartz crystal resonator, that particular resonator will vibrate, and it will generate the required clock signal for the embedded system to operate. Next, real-time clock. This real-time clock, it is used by embedded system to hold the information like current time. It will hold the information in terms of hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay, and most of the time, even if your embedded system, if it is off, your real-time clock, it should not off, it should on. and because of that this real-time clock, it is not powered by the power supply which is powering the embedded system. Instead here we are using a battery to operate this real-time clock. Next, watchdog timer. This watchdog timer, it is used to ensure that the firmware which is present in the embedded system, it is working properly. There will be several devices which are connected to the control unit of the embedded system, and these devices, they should listen to what the controller is saying. If any device, if it is not working properly, then this watchdog timer, it will identify that particular device, and it will wait for some amount of time to see if if the device corrects itself. After waiting that much time also, if your device, if it is not working properly, then the watchdog timer, what it will do, it will reset that particular device. Okay, and hence it will ensure the firmware is executing properly. Okay, see here, this is the watchdog timer and this is the microcontroller. Now the output of this watchdog, it is given to the reset pin. If your microcontroller, if it is not working properly, if it is not executing the functions properly, then a signal is given to the reset pin, and hence the microprocessor will be going into its reset state. Now here it consists of a counter. Each time whenever a reset is given to microprocessor, this the free running counter which is present in watchdog chip or watchdog circuit, it should get reset. It should go to its initial condition. So after reset, a watchdog reset is given to free running counter or the watchdog chip, where the counter value is initiated to 0. Okay, if it is not reset, then things will not happen in a normal way. Okay, even if it is not required, your watchdog controller, it will reset the microprocessor. So to avoid that, a watchdog reset has to be given to free running counter present in the watchdog chip. And PCB and passive components. Now PCB means what? PCB means printed circuit board. It is like a backbone for the embedded system. So whatever the circuit, the hardware present in the embedded system, which internally consists of several components which are interconnected. So once we finish the connection, once we finish the device connections, then the next step is to prepare the schematic. Okay, next step is to prepare the schematic, and depending upon the schematic, the PCB board is designed. Later, once the PCB is designed, on that PPC the components are kept and the interconnections are made. And this PCB, it consists of passive electronic components like resistors, capacitors, diodes, etc. And they are the co-workers of various chips contained in your embedded hardware. They are very essential for the proper functioning of your embedded system. So with this we have completed the topic, and these are the questions which you would be able to answer. Thank you very much.